One of the things at SoundStage I like that we've been doing is going to companies early for product announcements. Early meaning the products are coming and in production, so what you're seeing is real, but it's where we can get the information on the products. And I'm at Simaudio in Boucherville, Quebec, and what we're looking at today are the new Moon 491 streaming preamplifier and Moon 461 power amplifier. I'm going to get Dominique Poupart to give us a little overview. We've also done another video that gives more depth, but in this overview, I want to ask him the question that I think most audiophiles will want to know about these new products. So this is the new Moon 491 network player, right?
Yes.
And the 461 power amplifier.
That's correct.
Now we have an entire video on these products that goes into a lot of detail, but Dominic, I want you to tell me briefly, what are these about? What's in here and what's in here?
So you have the network player, the DAC, the phono stage, and the preamp section in the 491 network player preamplifier.
Not an amplifier.
Not an amplifier. And then the Moon 461 is the power amplifier. So it receives the signal from the 491 and amplify it to give the energy to drive the loudspeakers.
So these are part of the Compass collection.
That's right.
And the Compass collection started last year with the 371 integrated amplifier that has all the network connection capabilities and the phono stage and all that, right?
That's right. In fact, it does have all these two products features. It's just that these products, instead of being combined in one single product, it's two products. So it separates to have even more performance out of the preamp section, the DAC section, and also more power from the Moon 461 power amplifier.
Okay, so let's get into more detail about that, because the 371 basically looks like this. It's a little different on the back panel, but it looks like this.
It does look exactly like it from the front.
And so I think many people will ask this question. Is this just a 371 split into two boxes and therefore more money, but you alluded to there's higher performance and more features. So let's talk about this. What does going to these separate components give you over the 371?
It's important to note that it's not like a 371 from which we've just removed the power amp section.
Okay.
Far from it. So the preamp section in the 491 is much more sophisticated than what you can find as a preamp in the 371.
So the preamp's improved?
Improved by a lot.
Okay.
Also, the power supply is dedicated only to power low power devices inside.
And not both the power amp section of the 371 and, okay?
That's correct.
Okay.
And so the DAC is also more sophisticated, and
Okay.
the phono stage as well, because you have a lot more settings that are available in the 491 that is not available at all in the 371.
Define those settings.
So you have impedance, you have capacitance, you have the curve, and you have also the gain ranging from 40 dB up to 66 dB of gain.
What I found lacking in the 371 was a rumble filter, which rolls off the lowest frequencies in phono playback for both moving magnet and moving coil for warped records or feedback that's coming through the turntable or what have you. Does this have it?
It does. So you simply have to go into the menu system and then you can select the IEC curve.
And that's the same as the RIA curve?
And so from 30 Hz and up, it's exactly the same. It's just that below that and the infra frequencies or sub frequencies are removed so that it avoids to have this rumble.
And that's one additional feature in the phono stage. What are the other additional features?
Well, as I said earlier, you can set the gain to various gain level. You have the impedance itself that can range from 47K, 1K, and various level up as low as 10 ohms.
Yep.
And you also have the capacitance where you have the choice between 0, 100, and 470 picofarad. So you can finely tune the preamp for the cartridge that you're using.
And then for the upgrade in the DAC section, I remember when I talked to you for our other video, you said there are now 2 DAC chips.
That's right.
One for each channel versus 1 DAC chip in the 371.
That's right. So each chip is combining the 2 channels that it has into one. So it improves the distortion level and the noise level in this DAC.
So more sophistication. And the preamplifier, what's a little more sophisticated than that?
The volume control is wildly different. the whole preamp section is completely different. Actually, there's no single part that is the same in the 371 than in the 491. Because in the 371, it was made, to be more compact and to be able to fill everything inside, where this is mainly a preamplifier. So the preamp section is more sophisticated from the input to the output, and it's fully balanced from the input to the output.
The network capabilities are effectively the same.
It is the same, yes.
And across all the range. That's common to all the Moon components.
That's correct. It's all the same Mind 2 platform that we're using throughout the whole range.
And just one more thing I think about the 491 that I want to ask about, the headphone amp. It's supposedly better on the 491 than the one in the 371. True?
It is. It is true because in the 371, there's no dedicated headphone amp inside. It's actually the signal out of the power amp section that is padded down properly to drive the headphones.
And that reflects in the output impedance that we measured very high.
Exactly. So it does work well. It does have a lot of power, but it's not ideal. In the 491, we have implemented a dedicated headphone amp section in it just for that.
Lower output impedance?
Much lower output impedance. So it's below 1 ohm.
And that is better for?
To drive the headphones in the best way possible.
Okay, so a dedicated headphone amplifier as well. Good thing. Okay, so now let's talk about the amplifier, because I think this is a pretty slick little amplifier. It's not that big, but it's got pretty decent power, 150 watts into 8 ohms.
And it doubles at 4 ohms.
And I believe those specs from you because the 371 blew by its 100 and 200 when we measured it. It blew by it. So 150 and 300, we still have to measure it, but tell us more about this.
Yeah, so the 461 is using MDCA amplification technology, and also it uses MHP power. But the difference with the 371 is instead of using 1, we're using 2. And so it works in dual mono. So one channel doesn't influentiate the others. So there's no cross effect from one to the other. It's a really true dual mono power amplifier.
And I would guess that's also what would give you more power as well, having them dedicated. And they're not also having to deal with the preamp stages. You don't have that interference there as well, right?
That's right. And each of these power supply have higher voltage also to provide even more power into this amplifier. And so they're able to deliver more power and more current because, it's...
And that's reflected in the power ratings.
It does.
And an interesting thing that we saw today was you have Moon branded transistors, right?
We do.
And they're in here.
Yes, in the 461. These are the output transistors. These are bipolar type of transistors, and they're made expressively for us.
Okay, so let's summarize. You end up with the 491, 461, you have more real estate, but not that much more. But you have more features. Yeah, it's double. You have more features in the preamp stage. You have more power in the power amplifier. And you have a true dual mono configuration. And then there's one more thing. You got switches on the back of this power amp.
You do. So you can configure it because you could add a second Moon 461 to get 2 power amplifier. And then you have a choice to use them in mono, either as in bridge configuration or in biamp mode.
And this is cool, the biamp mode. We used to call this vertical biamping or whatever. Use one stereo amp for a speaker that is capable to be bi-wired.
That's right.
And then one channel goes to each. And you used to have to use splitters to do that.
Exactly. And now integrated in the 461 is this specific, there's a switch, but internally it's made to wire the signal coming from one channel to send the same signal to both channels in such a way that then you can biamp your loudspeaker.
And something I like about this, and I know you like that feature too, is I like the idea of putting the amp with the speakers.
On
very
each
close.
side.
It looks nice, and now you can choose to have higher power with the bridge mode.
That's correct.
Because it more than doubles the power, I think.
It does. It goes to 450 watts in this configuration.
Or you can do the vertical biamping thing
That's
and
correct.
use a channel per speaker, providing your speakers can be biamped.
That's right.
Now, what about warranties on these things? It's the same as with the 371?
It's the same as the 371 and all Moon product, which is 10 years warranty.
And we're shooting this right now, just before the release. You're in production.
That's right.
But these will be out to the public when they see this video.
Yes.